A man was only 26 when he built his dream. A small startup, nothing fancy, just ambition, caffeine, and sleepless nights. Everyone called him the next big thing. But he didn't know, success has a price. His co-founder, the one who laughed with him, built with him, dreamed with him, started showing up late. Started taking meetings alone. Started smiling too much in front of investors. One day, he walked into the office, and his name was gone from the company website. His passwords didn't work. His desk cleared out. That's how he learned his first brutal lesson in power. It's not the smartest who win. It's not even the hardest workers. It's the ones who understand control, who holds it and who pretends to. And that's exactly why we're here today. Because power isn't just in history books or royal courts. It's in your office, your relationships, your social circle, even in your silence. Welcome to Quick Reads for Success. And this is part 2 of the 48 Laws of Power, covering laws 17 to 32. Laws that will teach you how to stay unpredictable, appear powerful, and protect your influence from every direction. Let's begin. Law 17. Keep others in suspended terror. Cultivate an air of unpredictability. Power thrives in uncertainty. The moment people can predict your every move, they stop fearing you. They start controlling you. Predictability is comfort. And comfort is the slowest form of death in power. Think of a lion in the wild. Its prey never knows when it will strike. That uncertainty alone gives the lion dominance. In human nature, unpredictability works the same way. Napoleon Bonaparte was the master of this art. He would mislead his enemies with false signals, unexpected attacks, and rapid shifts in plan. Even when his army was weaker, his unpredictability made his opponents hesitate, and hesitation is the birthplace of defeat. When people can't predict you, they can't prepare for you. In modern life, this applies to everything. In business, relationships, even daily interactions. If your coworkers know exactly how you'll react, they can manipulate you. If your competitors can predict your next move, they can block you. So don't be too obvious. Don't let your patterns become your prison. Change your tone. Change your rhythm. Change your timing. Keep people guessing, not confused, but curious. Because the unknown creates respect. And respect creates influence. People crave patterns. They crave the comfort of predictability. But when the pattern breaks, when the rhythm shifts, they feel powerless. And powerless people are easy to lead. Don't let anyone map your next move. Be unpredictable, not reckless. Remember, fear doesn't always come from violence. Sometimes, it comes from mystery. Law 18. Do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Isolation is dangerous. When the world turns cold, your first instinct is to hide. To build walls around your heart, your work, your goals. To protect yourself from betrayal, judgment, or failure. But those walls you build for safety often become your cage. Louis XIV, the Sun King of France, understood this better than anyone. He lived in a palace filled with his nobles, not because he trusted them, but because he wanted them close. He knew power doesn't live in isolation, it lives in observation. When you can see people, read them, and influence them, you stay in control. In modern life, isolation looks different. It's not stone walls or moats, it's mental barriers. It's avoiding feedback, ignoring opinions, staying in your comfort zone, and cutting off connection. You think you're protecting yourself, but in truth, you're cutting off the oxygen of growth, information. Power moves through people. It flows through conversations, alliances, observations. When you isolate yourself, you lose that current. The less you interact, the less you know. The less you know, the weaker you become. Even in business, a leader who surrounds himself only with yes men lives in illusion. In relationships, people who shut everyone out lose touch with reality. In personal growth, refusing to listen to others is refusing to evolve. So instead of hiding in a fortress, stay in the arena. Engage with life. Watch people. Study patterns. Because every person you meet teaches you something about power. How it's gained, how it's lost, and how it's hidden. Fortresses don't make you safe. They make you blind. Stay connected. Stay aware. And never cut yourself off from the flow of influence. Law 19. Know who you're dealing with. Do not offend the wrong person. One careless word can destroy years of work. One wrong person offended can turn allies into enemies overnight. Not everyone forgives. And not everyone forgets. In ancient China, there was a poet named Li Pa. He was brilliant, respected, and fearless with his tongue. One night, drunk on wine and pride, he mocked an imperial officer in public. Days later, his poems were banned, his name erased, his reputation buried. The emperor didn't need to kill him. He killed his legacy instead. Power punishes arrogance faster than any sword. Everyone wears a mask. Some people's power is loud and obvious. But the most dangerous kind is silent. It hides behind quiet faces and soft voices. The humble clerk may have a connection that can ruin you. The quiet subordinate may one day become your superior. The harmless stranger may remember your insult for years. That's why power begins with awareness. Before you speak, observe. Before you act, analyze. Before you offend, ask yourself, do I really know who this person is? In today's world, this law matters more than ever. A single careless comment online can destroy a career. A moment of arrogance can create an enemy you never see coming. So measure your words like a sculptor measures his tools. Precision over pride. Awareness over ego. Never assume weakness. Even the quiet ones can destroy you. Law 20. Do not commit to anyone. Stay above the fray. Loyalty is beautiful, but blind loyalty is deadly. The game of power rewards those who think, not those who cling. In the 16th century, Queen Elizabeth I ruled England surrounded by powerful kingdoms, Spain, France, Austria, each trying to marry her, each promising alliances and strength. But Elizabeth refused them all. By staying unattached, she became unpredictable. No nation could control her, because no nation could claim her. That independence gave her endless leverage. While others begged for loyalty, she demanded respect. In your own life, this law plays out in subtler ways. Don't tie your identity to one person, one company, or one ideology. Don't rush to choose sides in conflicts that don't serve your long-term goals. Keep your independence. Because the moment you attach yourself emotionally, you lose your ability to think strategically. And when you lose your ability to think, you lose power. Commit to your goals, not to people's expectations. Be kind, but not bound. Be supportive, but not enslaved. Move like water, adaptable, flexible, and unstoppable. The one who stays neutral controls the outcome. The one who stays independent controls themselves. And in the end, self-control is the foundation of all power. The next laws take this even further, into the realm of deception, strategy, and subtle dominance. You'll learn how to use selective honesty, charm, and even absence to bend perception itself. But remember, power isn't about manipulation. It's about mastery. Master yourself before others can. Let's move forward. Law 21. Play a sucker to catch a sucker. Seem dumber than your mark. Power often grows in the guise of innocence. People naturally underestimate what they perceive as weakness, and that underestimation becomes your advantage. By appearing less intelligent, capable, or informed than you truly are, you encourage your rivals to reveal their strategies, show their hand, or underestimate the threat you pose. The moment they assume they are superior, you gain an invisible edge. History provides countless examples of this principle. Napoleon Bonaparte, one of the greatest strategists the world has ever seen, understood the importance of appearing weaker than he was. He often concealed the strength of his army, appearing slow or indecisive, only to strike with sudden, overwhelming precision. His enemies consistently misread him, giving him the advantage before he even moved. In modern contexts, This law is equally effective. Consider a negotiator in a high-stakes business deal. Chris, a young professional, entered a room full of senior executives. His calm, quiet demeanor led everyone to assume he lacked experience. They underestimated him, confidently revealing their strategies and weaknesses. But Chris had been silently observing, taking note of every hesitation, every unguarded expression, and every subtle cue. When the moment was right, he revealed his understanding of the deal's full implications, leaving everyone stunned. The result: he secured the deal, gaining a massive advantage because he had been underestimated. The core principle is deceptively simple: don't reveal your full capacity. Appear less capable, less informed, or even naive when necessary. Let others believe they are in control, while you quietly maneuver behind the scenes. This is not about lying or deception for the sake of manipulation, it is about strategy and timing. Never show the full depth of your mind at once. Underestimation is a weapon. Make others feel clever, then surprise them when it matters most. Those who underestimate you are more likely to make mistakes, reveal secrets, and give you the leverage you need to win. Law 22. Use the surrender tactic. Transform weakness into power. Surrender is one of the most misunderstood tools of power. Many perceive yielding or conceding as a sign of weakness, but in reality, strategic surrender is a form of mastery. By yielding in the short term, you create space to observe, recover, and prepare for a stronger, more calculated strike later. The art of surrender allows you to transform apparent vulnerability into strategic advantage. Consider a young samurai cornered by a larger, stronger clan. He could have fought, risking death, or he could surrender. Choosing surrender, he bowed, lowered his blade, and offered peace. Over time, what seemed like weakness became an opportunity. The clan trusted him, underestimated him, and eventually, he leveraged their trust to gain influence. His surrender was a calculated move, not a defeat. History is full of similar examples. In ancient warfare, generals often used feigned retreats or strategic retreats to lure enemies into overextending. By appearing to yield, they manipulated the perception of weakness, only to strike decisively at the optimal moment. Even in personal or professional life, this tactic works. During a negotiation, stepping back or yielding a minor point can make the other party overconfident. Their confidence may lead them to make critical errors, giving you the upper hand. The key is to surrender intentionally, not out of fear or pressure, but as a calculated strategy that shifts power in your favor over time. Yield when it serves the long game. Transform apparent defeat into leverage. Strategic surrender allows you to recover, reassess, and act from a position of strength. Power often comes to those who wait, who are patient, and who choose their battles wisely rather than rushing into confrontation. Law 23. Concentrate your forces. Power is most effective when focused. Energy, attention, and resources are limited. When scattered, they become diluted, ineffective, or wasted. The ability to concentrate forces on the areas of highest impact is what separates effective leaders from mediocre ones. Alexander the Great is a classic example. Rather than dispersing his armies across every conquered territory, he focused on key strategic targets. Each campaign was precise, coordinated, and overwhelming in its intensity. The concentrated power of his army allowed him to defeat numerically superior forces repeatedly. In modern times, Steve Jobs applied the same principle in business. Apple did not release dozens of products simultaneously. Jobs concentrated on a few, perfected them, and ensured they would dominate the market. The focus allowed Apple to revolutionize entire industries with a few carefully crafted innovations. The lesson is clear: diffusion of energy reduces influence. If your effort is spread too thin, you achieve little. Concentration allows mastery, efficiency, and maximum impact. Identify the area where your influence, skill, or resources matter most, and commit everything to that point. Focus your energy on your highest leverage. Master one thing at a time. When power is concentrated, it becomes unstoppable. Avoid spreading yourself across too many ventures or battles at once. Depth and focus are far more powerful than breadth and distraction. Law 24. Play the perfect courtier. Charm, diplomacy, and subtle influence often yield more power than direct confrontation. The perfect courtier does not dominate through force but navigates social and political landscapes with grace, adaptability, and discretion. The art of the courtier lies in understanding the dynamics of influence, flattering appropriately, and concealing true ambition until the optimal moment. Benjamin Franklin, while in France during the American Revolution, exemplified this law. He did not demand respect or authority. He charmed, observed, and carefully built relationships with key figures. His knowledge, wit, and subtle diplomacy allowed him to gain favor and influence, ultimately supporting the success of the American cause. Franklin's power came not from commanding armies or wealth, but from mastering social dynamics and winning allies. In everyday life, the courtier principle can be applied in workplaces, social settings, or negotiations. Listening more than speaking, showing appreciation for others, and understanding what motivates people allows you to gain influence without confrontation. By observing and responding with finesse, you earn trust, loyalty, and strategic advantage. Charm and subtlety are not about manipulation. They are about strategic empathy, social intelligence, and timing. By mastering these, you can shape perceptions, gain allies, and accomplish goals without ever appearing forceful. Power grows with finesse, not aggression. Learn to read people, speak softly, and act elegantly. Influence is often won with style, subtlety, and charm. Understand the desires, fears, and ambitions of those around you. Use discretion and tact to guide others, and conceal your true intentions until revealing them benefits your position. Law 25. Recreate yourself. Power does not belong to those who wait for destiny. It belongs to those who shape it. The ability to transform yourself, to invent a persona that commands respect and attention, is the essence of influence. People are drawn to figures who stand out, who embody charisma, and who operate with a sense of purpose beyond the ordinary. Consider Cleopatra, who mastered the art of reinvention. She was not merely a ruler, she was a living symbol of beauty, intelligence, and political acumen. She reinvented herself continuously to inspire loyalty and awe. Her image, her voice, her mannerisms, everything was meticulously crafted to project power. The world didn't just recognize her authority, it was mesmerized by it. In modern life, the principle remains the same. Oprah Winfrey transformed herself from a local talk show host into a global cultural icon. She shaped her persona deliberately, compassionate yet commanding, approachable yet aspirational. By recreating herself with intention, she accumulated influence far beyond her initial circumstances. Recreation is not about dishonesty. It is about crafting a version of yourself that aligns with your goals and signals your capability. People respond to confidence, vision, and presence, and the most influential figures understand the power of shaping perception through deliberate self-transformation. Law 26. Keep your hands clean. Appearances matter more than actions in the theater of power. To maintain influence, you must avoid being seen as the source of conflict, betrayal, or moral compromise. Let others do the dirty work, while you remain above reproach, appearing noble, strategic, and untainted. Niccolò Machiavelli, in his writings, emphasized the importance of seeming virtuous while acting decisively. Leaders who allowed subordinates to carry out difficult or unsavory tasks preserved their image while consolidating control. History is filled with rulers who fell because they got their hands dirty and lost the perception of authority. In the corporate world, CEOs often delegate controversial decisions while maintaining a public image of fairness and integrity. By keeping their hands clean, they retain credibility and moral authority, even as they exert control over the outcomes. Influence is preserved not by raw action alone but by the perception of integrity combined with strategic oversight. The principle is universal. Power relies on perception. When your reputation remains unblemished, people trust, follow, and respect you more willingly. The hands that appear clean are the hands that wield invisible influence. If these strategies are already changing the way you see the world, Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join the journey to mastering influence and success. Remember, power isn't about dominating others, it's about mastering yourself. Every law you learn is another step toward controlling your destiny. Stay focused, stay bold, and keep applying what you learn, because your influence grows every time you take action. Law 27. Play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. Humans crave meaning. We are driven by stories, symbols, and causes larger than ourselves. Those who understand this can harness the desire for belief to inspire loyalty and devotion. Power amplifies when it taps into collective imagination, rather than mere logic or reason. Consider religious and political leaders throughout history. John Calvin created a movement not merely through theology but by offering a worldview that gave his followers purpose, clarity, and identity. Similarly, modern leaders who articulate compelling visions, from Martin Luther King Jr. to Steve Jobs, cultivate devotion by speaking to the human need for significance. Even in business, this principle applies. Brands like Apple and Nike have cultivated almost cult-like followings by offering more than products. They sell ideals. Consumers are drawn to the story, the mission, and the sense of belonging. By appealing to the human desire to believe, influence extends far beyond authority. It becomes emotional, lasting, and unshakable. Law 28. Enter action with boldness. Fortune favors the audacious. Hesitation and caution often invite uncertainty, skepticism, and challenges. Bold action, even when risky, creates momentum, inspires confidence, and establishes dominance. The impression of certainty alone can intimidate rivals and attract allies. Alexander the Great did not merely plan campaigns, he executed them with decisiveness and audacity. His boldness in battle often unbalanced opponents before the first clash of swords. In the modern world, entrepreneurs like Elon Musk take massive, calculated risks. The perception of bold, unwavering confidence magnifies the impact of their decisions. Boldness is contagious. People follow those who act decisively because uncertainty is uncomfortable and fear is paralyzing. Even if the action is imperfect, the courage to move forward signals strength. Bold moves disrupt the status quo, shift power dynamics, and leave rivals scrambling to catch up. Law 29. Plan all the way to the end. True power comes from foresight. Every move, every decision, must be made with the endgame in mind. Those who act impulsively are easy to manipulate. Imagine a chess grandmaster. Every piece, every sacrifice, is calculated to achieve the final victory. Nothing is left to chance. Historical leaders like Julius Caesar planned campaigns years in advance. Even when unexpected events occurred, his preparation allowed him to adapt without losing control. Power isn't just about the next move, it's about the final checkmate. Visualize your goals, anticipate obstacles, and prepare every possible response. Those who plan to the end rarely get caught off guard. Law 30. Make your accomplishments seem effortless. Show the world your results, not the struggle behind them. Effort draws envy and invites opposition. Mastery hides the work behind the curtain. Leonardo da Vinci painted masterpieces that seemed effortless, though years of relentless practice went unseen. Great leaders, inventors, and entrepreneurs present their successes as natural, inevitable, and polished. By making your actions look easy, you create the illusion of talent and control. Others respect efficiency, not the chaos of labor. Keep your grind private, your results public. Law 31. Control the options. Get others to play with the cards you deal. Influence is strongest when people feel they have a choice, even when the options are limited. Power is the invisible hand guiding the decisions of others. Think of a skilled negotiator in business or diplomacy. By presenting carefully chosen options, they steer outcomes without appearing controlling. In history, Queen Victoria's advisors often framed decisions so that every choice led to the crown's advantage. People believe they decide freely, but the game is already theirs to lose or win. Master the art of framing. Guide without force. Lead without appearing to lead. Law 32. Play to people's fantasies. Reality can be harsh. Dreams are soft spots where people are vulnerable and malleable. Those who appeal to fantasies can gain loyalty, devotion, and influence. Consider the marketing genius of Walt Disney. He didn't just sell animation, he sold wonder, hope, and a world where imagination became reality. People didn't just consume the product, they bought a dream. Leaders, speakers, and influencers who understand this principle can inspire devotion without coercion. Appeal to desire, aspiration, and imagination, not just logic. If you're enjoying these strategies, don't forget to subscribe and continue your journey to mastering influence and success. Apply these laws, stay alert, and remember, power favors the prepared, the bold, and the strategic. In Part 3, we'll cover laws 33 to 48, revealing the ultimate tactics to dominate any social or professional arena. Make sure you don't miss it. Your mastery of power is just getting started.